Hi, welcome to Basic Thermodynamics. I'm Rourke Peterson, the instructor for this course. The class is now live on Blackboard, so I encourage you to go ahead and log in there as soon as you can and start taking a look at it. I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick tour of the website just to make sure that you see some of the important parts, but I recommend that you look at this in more detail. When you first log into Blackboard, you'll notice the main course contents over on the left. And the areas that currently are there are the syllabus, the course content, a discussion board, and downloads. I'll go through each of these really quickly. First, if you go over onto the syllabus, you'll see a listing for the syllabus for this semester. You can download it as a PDF, and it is also embedded within the web page itself. So let me go ahead and just point out a couple things on the syllabus. And I'm just going to point out some of the important parts so you understand. First, on the bottom of the first page, you'll see my contact information. Because of the restricted access to campus currently, the best way to reach me is via email. I am not in my office all that often. You're welcome to go ahead and call that office phone number and leave me a voicemail, and I'll try to check that as often as possible, but the best way is definitely via email. As you move through, you're going to see the course structure and policies on page 2. This course, the material is divided into 3 different sections. The first is there's going to be some videos, which is where most of the course content will be delivered, and there's some quizzes embedded within those. Those are what's listed here as the Play Pause It video quizzes. Each of these are anywhere from about 5 to 20 minutes, and there's 44 of those that comprise the entire course. Associated with essentially each video, then there's going to be one extra homework problem. This will be a more quantitative problem for you to go ahead and complete. So after you watch the quiz, you want to go ahead and complete the homework problem. And then at the end of each chapter, you'll see at the very bottom of each content area, there's a chapter test. This is a single question test. Each time there might be multiple parts to it. This is a timed test. There's 30 minutes. It's very closely related to one of your homework problems. So you can only take this once, and the important part is that you also need to upload your handwritten work for the chapter test so that I can go ahead and hand grade that and give you partial credit if that's required. You move through, the next thing you'll see on the next page is the way that the course letter grades will be assigned, and you'll see that here shown in this box on the left hand side, sort of a standard scale, and I will be using the plus-minus system as well. There's some more contact information, and then at the top of the next page is the way that the final grades will be computed, and it's done using those 3 learning activities I mentioned: the quizzes, the homework problems, and the chapter tests. And so you see the percentages listed here, and there's 44 quizzes, and there are 49 homework problems, and then there are 8 chapter tests because we'll be covering 8 chapters in the textbook. The last thing I'm just going to highlight here at the very last page is the course schedule, and so this is something you really want to pay attention to. There is 12 weeks during the summer, and so I list each one of the weeks. We'll be covering 8 chapters, so some chapters we'll cover in 1 week, and some chapters we will cover in 2. And so, for example, you'll see the first week, which starts next Monday, which is May 18th, and then it goes through the following Sunday, which is 5/24. So you'll want to watch the 4 videos. The videos are numbered 1.1 to 1.4. The corresponding sections in the textbook are 1.1 to 111, and then you want to make sure you complete the Chapter 1 test. All the due dates for all these assignments are always on a Sunday night at the end of the day, so 11:59 p.m. And then we'll go on to Chapter 2, and we'll spend 1 week on that. For example, if you look on down here, Chapter 3 will actually cover in weeks 3 and 4, so this will be divided into 2 weeks. There's only 1 chapter test for this, so at the end of the 3rd week, for example, you won't have to complete a chapter test, but you will need to complete it by the 4th. So please go ahead and when you have time, read through the syllabus in detail. I'm going to come back here to Blackboard now and go to the next content area, which is where all the course content is. So if you go ahead and select that content area, here's the Chapter 1 course content. And so if you go ahead and enter into Chapter 1, you'll find here the learning activities I mentioned before. So here are your videos and then the homework problems. The videos are hosted by Play Pause It, so these are more or less like a YouTube video, except there's embedded quizzes within those. These are usually multiple choice or mark all correct type of quiz questions. They're fairly straightforward. If you're paying attention to the video, you should have no problem completing those. Remember that you can only your highest score, or your first score on the quiz question will be your score for completing that. So make sure you are paying attention to it the first time you watch the video, although you can rewatch the video as many times as you wish. So there's essentially one homework problem associated with each video. So if you look as I scroll through here, I have 4 videos. And then you'll notice there's actually 2 homework problems associated with the 4th video. So sometimes you will see this. Here I have homework 1A and 1B, so you need to complete both of those homework problems. Then at the bottom of each section, you'll see there's the Chapter 1 test. And so the Chapter 1 test you'll want to complete. The difference between the test and the homework you have multiple attempts at. In fact, you can go ahead and take a homework problem up to 10 times. However, note that each time you take it, the numbers will change. So you'll need to go ahead and rework the homework problem if you want to redo that and get full credit for it. After completing a chapter test, you need to upload your work. You only need to do this for the chapter tests, not for the homework problems. And so after completing the chapter test in the time, and it's 30 minutes per test, then you'll want to go ahead and upload your work there. So the last thing I'll just mention, the last couple of content areas, the question board is simply a discussion board. If you have any general questions, just like you would raise your hand in a face-to-face class, please ask it in the question board so everyone can go ahead and benefit from the answer as well. I'll be monitoring this consistently. And then the very last section over here is downloads. I will be putting any extra material that you might want. And so, for example, in this class, we'll be using these thermodynamic tables and conversion factors a lot. I provided here as a PDF if you want to go ahead and print those out for ready access. And then also, if you need a copy of the textbook, while you're waiting for yours, I've uploaded a PDF of Chapter 1. Textbook we'll be using is Sengel and Bull's Thermodynamics, and any of the most recent versions will work just fine. Okay, so when you have a chance, please go ahead and look through all the website in a little bit more detail, look at the syllabus, and please get back to me if you have any questions. So I look forward to meeting you, at least virtually, soon. See ya.